Hi everyone, welcome to the Red October Network. Thank you for watching. Haven't made a video in a while, so I wanted to make one get caught up a little bit. First of all, a couple little technical things. First of all, you may have noticed that my screen name has changed, and you might not recognize the name. Anyways, I thought that this was kind of an opportunity. We switched a few things around. You may have noticed there's a new setup here. If you look on the bars on the sides of the Red October Network, you may have noticed that there's a new wallpaper, and so you're probably wondering who Stephon Cassidy is. Well, I decided from this point forward, we're going to do a lot more vlogging than we are putting new videos up of just random things, because I really don't do a whole lot. So, but we'll still get those in every once in a while. And so I wanted to establish kind of an identity here on the Red October Network or on YouTube. And as to why I picked Stephon Cassidy, it's a good question. I don't know. It's actually named after an Irish saint, Stephon de Cassade. Or is that Spanish? But yeah, so I decided we're going to go forth and do this. Anyways, I also wanted to extend this opportunity to somebody who I just subscribed to. Her name is Audrey Roach, and I commented on her page, and so we're going to do this in tribute to her. She actually has a cool vlog. I would advise that you go and you kind of check it out. It's Audrey, A-U-D-R-E-Y, and then Roach like a cockroach, R-O-A-C-H. So check it out. We'll include a link. And anyways, so this was the last weekend of the regular college football season. And I know there's two teams I wanted to talk about. First of all, I want to send my congratulations to Notre Dame. They had a perfect season. I think they've always been a really honorable fan base, and they're really just one of the crown jewels of of college football. I don't know what that number 5 player is, but he seems pretty popular. But I really think they've done a good job. I mean, considering I remember when I saw Penn State play Notre Dame many years ago, they were kind of falling apart under Charlie Weiss. And so I thought it was pretty great for them. I always like whenever they have a perfect season and everything, and Notre Dame is just like, they're just like a football heaven, you know, no pun intended, but I mean, the Fighting Irish, man, you know, you go to church after the game and whatnot, and so I just think it's really just great. And I mean, it's kind of good just not to see Alabama, who, frankly, the people are retarded down there, and, you know, USC and Lane Kiffin and everybody kissing their asses and whatnot. So, it's good. Way to go, Notre Dame. But the biggest thing that I wanted to talk about was Penn State won today. They kicked the last-minute field goal in overtime. And they're 8-4 for the season. They're not eligible for the Big Ten championship or a bowl game, thanks to the Sandusky accusations. But I just wanted to say, as a Penn Stater, you know, this is kind of a stepping stone, because I am a Penn Stater and Penn State grad, and at least from my point of view, the Coach of the Year, unquestioned, is Bill O'Brien. So we moved way beyond all the stuff about the Sandusky scandal, and, you know, that everybody was really against us. I have to say it. And, you know, I really think, to some extent, we knew that this was we were going to have to go forward from it. And, you know, there's still going to be people who are going to hate, and they're going to say, oh, your member's a NAMBLA, and, you know, it's Penn State, and the degree is useless, and all that stuff. But you want to know something about it? What is wrong? what is so bad about Penn State? You know, who really did the crime? I mean, and didn't get punished? Joe Paterno obviously died a broken man. He was found innocent in the Free Report. You know, Bill O'Brien had to deal with a lot of the players leaving and the sanctions and whatnot. He turned out to be 8-4. He beat some good teams. He beat a ranked team. They went boldly and played at Ohio State. They had a pretty good season. But I think you should really give credit to these players, especially the seniors. They could have left. You know, they understood the sanctions and everything, but yet they stayed. And so that's really something. And, you know, we still draw so many people to the game. We still have 100,000 fans in the stands. And so really, you have to think about it. What is there bad about Penn State? And, you know, if you really want to go on and vlog about things, and you really want to go and say, oh, but I hate Penn State, you know, they're a bunch of child molesters, they raped, they did this, they did that, that's all bullshit. You know, it's really, like, people just want to rub their face in it. These are the same people who cannot carry a conversation on Yahoo without getting into political things. They're saying, oh, I found my teddy bear, oh, it's Obama's fault, you know, oh, bozo. People are just assholes. When do they get these mongoloids out of the basement? You know, I never was able to figure it out, because despite the fact there's 50% unemployment with college grads, all my Penn State people got jobs. Despite the fact that I have $160,000 in student loans, I have a job. Despite the fact that, you know, people are going to say all this stuff about 100 million unemployed. A lot of Penn Staters are working really hard, and they're experiencing success. I'm at the bottom. I'm vlogging on YouTube for money, so it's really confusing. I would say too that these players stuck with it. You know, to me, they are more bold than a lot of the servicemen. I would put it on that level. You know, the people who serve in the Army, they knew what the ramifications. They were going to be spit in the face, and they were going to be threatened and everything. And I gotta tell you, now everybody's saying, "Oh, but we love the players." But you want to know something? At the beginning of this season, they didn't even want to look them in the face, and you still shouldn't now. Penn State is rising strong again. I will say it. You know, we got rid of all the bad apples, and now it's time to move on. You know, people are going to say all this shit about, oh well, you know, we should go in the shower, and you know, you're going to be stained forever. Really, the only people that have it stained are the people that hate Penn State. Pretty much everybody in the job hunting world has forgotten where your degree is from, if you don't know that already. You know, Penn State was, I mean, what do you want to equate? Somebody told me this, my mom actually told me, he said, do you want to burn down the White House because Bill Clinton had sex in the Oval Office? No, but why would you burn down Penn State just because there was a child endangerment thing? Would you say that? Or would you burn down a church because there were Catholic priests there? Or what would you do? Obviously, there's a lot of people who just absolutely want to hate, and I think Bill O'Brien, you know, all these guys, Matt McGloin, Michael Maudy, man, these guys really work hard. They're heroes. You know, they stuck through it. I think Penn State needs to go, and they need to continue. I think obviously that people are going to think, people are going to start to go back on the Penn State bandwagon, and they're going to say things. And there's always going to be people who say that just because a few students thought it was unfair that Joe Paterno was fired, which I still think considering if you watch or you read the free report and watch, what was it, Brad Ziegler's video, Joe Paterno was innocent. It was Jerry Sandusky who was guilty. It was Grim Spanier and Tim Curley and Gary, what was his name? But I can't remember. I'm tired. I came home from work. But those were the guys that were at fault. And you know that, and it does not equate to the fact that, you know, we still raise money for Thon. We still care about kids. We've cared about kids for 40 years with Thon. I mean, we've raised something like, I think it's like $70 million for childhood cancer. I hated Thon when I was up at Penn State, but I like it now. And, you know, we got to do this. So I will say this right now. Penn State, I will always be proud of you. I think we finally kind of rid ourselves of the ghosts of Sandusky. Now it's time to move on. I mean, you know, the people who don't want to move on are the real fucking idiots here. You know, it's the truth. If you don't want to move on, don't move on. But don't keep throwing Penn Staters over the fire. It makes you look pretty stupid. Pretty fucking stupid, honestly. So I think this is I'm gonna leave it at that. So let's move on, folks. It's the holiday season. Here's my question. I'm gonna start this question. What do you think would be a good gift for my stepdad? So give that some thought. He's a car guy. I'm not buying him a new car, but give me something that's like $40. We'll go from there. So Stefan Cassidy here, vlogger. We'll see you later.